Cool. Well, thank you guys for cramming. We moved in here obviously because you couldn't see things for future slides. So now that we have no light and we can actually control it, it's great. Tons of wins. We're going to start with something a little bit different. We're going to talk about the Gusto feedback. You guys have been awesome. The participation rate is going up. I think we're at like 79% last month versus 77 before. So those 20% of you that can come in and just like click a couple buttons if everything's good, just do that. But I also want to talk about the things that we can improve. So we'll start off with this so that we know what our goals are as a team, what everybody's working on in different divisions. We'll also finish off the slides with this moving forward. And I know, I'm sorry, Reese, we can make it bigger at some point later on. I can send it to you guys. So, but we'll go through these one by one as well as we go through it. So our Net Promoter Score still hovering around the 30s. Again, part of this is just not a lot of people from a client perspective participating as much too, and people forgetting about it. So it's not a true representation of where we're at, but it's always good from a good news and bad news of always being proactive about it and knowing that too. Revenue and profit clarity. You guys haven't seen this before. And again, I can send this to you too. So you have blue up here, which is salary cost. You have green, which is revenue. And you have purple, which is cost. In our bookkeeping, we have about like a month delay. So you don't see October numbers, but you'll see September. And September was the first time with, understanding like what we're investing with is where we actually lost money. And so like I promised to you guys, I'm not going to just show you the good things, I'm going to show you the bad things, but the truth is they're not bad because you'll see that all the wins have been coming from those investments, which is nice. So cool. Retention rate was one of the best that we've ever had. If we remove the high risk, we are over 95%. So first off, massive round of applause to also the designers. I want to say this real quick because you guys have been super stressed. A lot of work has been put on you because of this unexpected growth. So I want to give a round of applause to you guys first. Account management team with the directors, you guys have been awesome too. Grant, you will get a tractor one day. That's impressive as well too. So round of applause for the AMs and the directors as well. The cool thing you see here is we actually have a rolling report on what the reasons are for why we lose clients. And so you can see that a lot of things that we have in red are things that we're like not okay at all, having been the reasons why we lose clients. And the percentage changes that you see is us getting a lot better at that. So really, really impressive and cool. Last month, we basically had like the most happiness, and I'll show you guys some of the feedback in here too, but it's really cool to see. There's obviously things that we can always do to get better, which is why you put that healthy pressure on me, and I will also be the person answering the request, whether it's a good idea or not, and I'll tell you why. Cool. So the first question that we had from the previous survey is, I'm able to take time off from work when I need to. Some people are saying that like they have to plan, they feel like they can never really detach, they sometimes check their emails, which happens, and I can see that being a reality. It's something that we don't want to happen. Chris? And it's something where when obviously we have, well, first off, let me say that I think the next survey might have a little bit more unhappiness because of all the stress that we had on people. So I'm ready for it. Give it to us. That's awesome. But it's something that is true that we do want to make that process better and easier and have like a easier time because we're more people so that you can spread the work out further versus before it might be on a couple people and balls would be dropped or clients would be happy when you're going on leave. I can see Matt Nelson agreeing with his paternity coming up. So yeah, and also great ideas, something we played around with when we talked about hitting the 1 million MRR mark of the new things that we're coming out with. A lot of people are talking about having unlimited PTO or just being able to acquire more of it as you grow, either from perks that you've set yourself or something that we set as an option and then you hit it based off some goals being set. We're open to that idea. We should talk more about it. This is, again, same question. Our PTO offering is not competitive in our industry. No sick days and no personal days for unexpected things. It's true. something we want to get better at too, and we'll work on that. And I'll put on my to-do list to do things as well. One thing you don't know, and this is something that I hope you will never have to know, is when anything happens that's like, oh shit, I got to take care of some stuff. I'm always there to help you guys out with that. So just know that. But in regards to regular PTO, we definitely want to make that better. Cool. There was so much individual feedback on this one that I didn't even take screenshots. The question is up top, what's one benefit not offered today that you'd like to see? 401k matching. Mostly everybody's saying that. We had that in the past too, and everybody knows too, because you're leaving that as a note that it's coming at the 1 million MRR mark. Childcare for children up to 3 years old. Haha. I don't know if that was Kim or if...
I would have set up the 6.
That was for sure you? All right, cool. Yeah, we can have them run around in the outside shrubs and have somebody watch them or something like that. Additional professional types of training, 100% agree. Something that we're working on. Ali, who is our director of performance, is going to have a lot of resources to deploy around too, especially in the new year too. Full gym reimbursement. One thing you guys don't know, this is actually not tax deductible. So the $100 that you actually get, we have to pay an additional 50% on top of that. So it's $150 a month. So everybody that goes to Equinox can shut up. Which is Aaron and Allie. So I went around on the last one, and this was pretty funny because I was like, I know exactly who this is. Somebody asked me to turn in their gym membership for an annual pass to Disneyland. And I was like, Courtney, this isn't real. We can't do this. And it wasn't her. Maybe one day if we can prove that the amount of steps that you take equals, gains in that, maybe. But for now, I don't think so. Pet insurance option, Grant, I know this is from you. We can consider that. Heavy bag in the office would be cool, but it would be so loud. Yeah. Actually, I'm okay with that idea. We can potentially have it in the big rec room when we actually get that open. So I'm open to it. Cool. Benefits offered by KB that meet my needs. Everybody's basically saying that what we have right now is really cool and it's awesome. There wasn't anything that was changed. You guys now know that we, in addition to having options between Anthem and Kaiser, you also now have life insurance, which is a new thing that just kind of threw in there. I was like, yeah, sure, as long as nobody dies, it's fine. Cool. So big picture stats. We only lost $33,000 and some change in October. We closed 150. That was the third time breaking the sales record this year, but the fifth time that we've been over $100,000. So big shout out to the sales team. What's also super crazy is that I closed 0 deals in October, which was awesome as well too. So shout out to me. We surpassed the 10 million ARR mark. We're now at 875,000. So yeah, crazy cool. Not much else to talk about on that front. There's a lot of wins. So this is actually our yacht that we're going on November 22nd. Everybody who has been fitted with the Lulus will also get custom flip-flops because that was a must, even more so too, so that's coming. So operations, this is not me. You want to do this? Who wants to do this? Cool.
I'll chime in.
So the new health insurance implemented. Thanks guys for doing that. We've actually been in the Gusto platform, which surprisingly is not really built for how big we're getting. So we're basically working with better vendors and partners to help us do this, to give you guys more options like we did. So we expanded the network, so you guys should have more coverage and everything like that. So that's big, and also life insurance as well. So we managed to tack that on and include that. And I think even our dental insurance is supposed to cover more stuff as well. So
again, please on that.
But take care of yourself. That's for our gym membership. And thanks to Jen for managing all of that stuff. Another thing too is you guys know Jen is crazy, super busy and everything like that. So actually, Christina is now going to be the new person handling all of our snacks, drinks, lunches, massages, all that kind of stuff. So thank you to Christina for taking it off. So if you guys have any questions about any of that stuff, go to Christina. Jen doesn't want to hear it. Jen's very sweet and nice and cares about that. So this is actually, I was having conversations, part of my job here is to like empower you guys with data and everything like that, and I'm spending a lot of time in spreadsheets and stuff like that, but I realized that like it's important for you guys to know all that information. So actually feedback I got from the design team was that we're bringing on so many clients so fast right now that like we need better metrics and indicators and everything like that. So I worked basically to take a lot of that kind of ops capacity data and put that right in front of the team directors and lead designers. So when they're basically deciding, where clients are going to go when we're assigning them, they actually are operating to understanding your capacity, your MRR, and that kind of stuff, and more of the context of how many clients you guys have gotten in the last 2 weeks, how many clients you guys have gotten in the last 30 days. So we can try to, it's still sometimes tough to place, but we're operating with a little bit more numbers now. Restructure the accountability chart. We went over this a little bit. I sent out an email about it to everyone to kind of explain a little bit how we're structured and everything. If you guys have questions on that, let me know.
Oh, this is a fun one. Transition all conference calls to Google Meet. So if you guys are not on Google Meet, I want to know why. So please let me know why if you're not. And this also goes in with video calls. Make sure that you guys have those all set up. I know your team directors have talked to you all about it. There shouldn't be any confusion.
Mayberry's not on the video call right now.
Mayberry,
are you shirtless, Mayberry?
Where's your webcam?
Is that
He's trying to say something.
We can't
I
hear
think
you.
it's on you.
Just excuses is all we hear.
No, you're good.
So other thing too, we're hiring an outsourced CFO for budgeting and forecasting and everything like that. I think, as we become like a $10 million company, we're sort of like, oh wow, we really need to like be super professional about this.
Jen, who is buying snacks, is also following up on invoices. She's amazing, but it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah. So we had big goals for 2020 and everything like that. So we're bringing on more resources to help us think about how we're doing forecasting and budgeting. A big thing that's changed from us is that when we were a smaller company, it was easy to chase around these clients, but now we've got 220 clients. They're all in different types of billing things, and we want to be better about being able to do budgets, predict our cash flow, and all that stuff. And so we're calling in outside help because none of us have a finance background. Cool.
Cool. So just want to shout out a couple promotions that we had. I didn't put mustard boy. So Haley, want to shout out Haley for being Mustard Boy was promoted to an AC to an AM as well.
Yeah.
And for some of you guys that don't know, Chris Gonzalez has moved from the sales team over into the AC team now. It's funny because when Matt Hurst left AM team, I'm like, oh, that hurts. But it's so, and it's working. So I know this reverse is going to work for us, Austin.
Yeah. Sales team is sad to lose them, but option you get. Yeah, you guys got a new star player, so.
Yeah, we're excited.
Do us proud, Chris. Also, we have new people too, if you haven't seen. So, has everyone met Travis, the new account manager? And then, if anyone else has noticed, Nikki right here just joined first day. For all 45 minutes. Like that, so you managed to make it in the slide. So welcome.
Cool. Awesome. So you guys heard too from Aaron that we beat another inbound lead volume record. So round of applause for the brand team on this. This is crazy. The actual interesting thing is that we get about like 200 calls a month. That's not part of this. We also get contact form submissions. We get hello at KlientBoost, and we also now have Drift chatbot, basically like setting appointments. So that's not even included in the 520. So there's even more leads coming through than this. Boost Sauce has climbed to number 65 on the US charts. Last month we were just cracking 100. So shout out to Tori for that. And by the way, the people who are ahead of us that are doing really well are on like episode 300 plus right now. So it's a lot of ways that we're doing this. The Google acquisition event, we're actually getting Google to sponsor being in Google Venice at their headquarters there. And didn't tell you this, Luke, but your client is one to speak on our behalf. So that's awesome. That's coming. Brand new proposal flow finalized. You guys saw this two things. So like what we're trying to do is basically combine the proposal, the agreement, and also the ability to pay in one thing versus like the 3 different things that were spread apart. So a quick highlight from that, just so you guys get this, is of one of the slides that we have. This is the thing that took me the longest, proportionally, to make sure everybody was true to their actual height. So that was all right. There's more. So Kite, we actually haven't been focusing on growing from an acquisition perspective of new customers that aggressively, but we're seeing like an uptick month over month, which is pretty nice. And so we're beating our goals there too without really putting a lot of focus on it. So shout out to the Kite team working diligently on this. Thank you. You guys saw that the Clearbit improved personalization that we did had 11% lift. So we're working on figuring out of like an agency formula that doesn't cost $3,700 a month, which is what we pay for Clearbit, to be able to do this. So that's coming. We're figuring that out. That official Instagram ads case study was insane. And so I'm just super, super proud of that. So round of applause to Tiff and Matt. Because we can technically bullshit all of our case studies, nobody would know. But we can't bullshit that, so that's awesome. Kevin Botsford was able to help us close our first outbound deal on the new flow, so round of applause to him. And as you guys know, that I've been very transparent with you guys too, is like I'm talking to investors, I'm getting understanding of like what makes us a good company and what makes us more attractive. Everything that we learn from that is basically, even if it would never happen, equals the ability to just make a stronger company. So not too long ago, I was down in San Diego at a company called Power Digital Marketing, and from the outside, I wasn't that impressed with what they're doing. That seemed like they're doing like graphic design, email, SEO, PPC, influencer marketing, like everything. And they had gotten an investment from a company called Periscope Equity, and they're looking to basically merge with other agencies and basically grow faster that way and be able to sell in the future too. And so one thing that I learned from that meeting, which is, again, a lot of learnings from different meetings, is that they had an average of like 4.5 services per client that they were selling on. And the average retainer of them, and there weren't even big names from a client perspective, because I actually saw the list briefly, he went through that quickly, was like $15,000+ per month versus like our $4,000 per month. So one thing that was showing was that it's much easier to move a PPC vendor or a PPC option that you have to somebody else, but it's a lot harder to do that when you also have email and SEO and PPC and other things too. So it's one thing that we kind of already knew about, but this was actually proof that this is really smart to do. This is really something that we're going to do in the future. So that was really cool. We were talking based off like the forecasting and the budgeting that we're doing with the CFO on like what we can actually achieve with that being a reality too. And so we don't think it's far away to imagine that we can get $150,000 in inbound, $50,000 in outbound, and then $50,000 in upsells across the board. Because we're like not paying attention to anything right now from poor Ben, who is somewhere in his RV in the US that is doing this for us. But yeah, so that will be one of my big focuses, to make sure that they have everything they need so they can actually run that too. Cool. So another big piece of news is that we are actually opening up North Carolina in January 2020. And I want to put a massive congratulations and excitement behind the person who's going to lead that. I think this person is I call them a Swiss Army knife of everything that's needed to be successful in this position. So I want to say a big congrats to Mitch. And every North Carolina gift was actually North Carolina University, and there wasn't anything else, so that's all I could do. But I'm excited to come be at some games with you and at Duke too. Cool. So renovation update. So HVAC permits are in place. We're gonna buy like oil drums and actually just start fires in them right now because we can't figure out why the AC is on at all times. But once that's figured out, the next step is being the afternoon sun that comes in and like beams in and like heats up everybody like sitting like right around here all the way down. We want to get some awning stuff figured out for that too. And then hydro flasks are on their way at some point. So cool. Yep. Sweet. Let's see. Cool. So basically wrapping up with our goals too that we are focusing on. Everything you see in green, I'll mention them too, are ones that we had recently checked off, crossed off the list from last huddle. So we have East Coast office on the far left. We have Johnathan out of day-to-day sales. Then we have rocks for the quarter. We have North Carolina director chosen, sales acquisition event set, and outbound sales playbook. So I'm just gonna say that's done because we got our first sale. So we don't have to make that better. But yeah, that is it. Thank you guys.
October was one of the biggest months ever for KlientBoost. We had several record-breaking numbers, including signing over 149K in new MRR revenue. We also hit a 96% retention rate.